I'm National Investigative Correspondent Angie Moreschi. Cutting fraud, waste, and abuse of taxpayer money has taken on new life in Washington with the new Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. But this is a battle some have long been fighting in our nation's capital with little traction. Spotlight on America got exclusive insight from key players who've been in the trenches for years fighting fraud and calling for change to save citizens money.
We knew it was going to be bad.
Rebecca Shea has been in the game fighting fraud for 2 decades. You guys are the watchdogs for taxpayers.
We are indeed, yes.
She's director of the Federal Government Accountability Office Forensic Audits and Investigative Service Team. They were among those predicting massive fraud was likely during COVID.
There was a little bit of a wake-up call with the pandemic. I think there is greater attention to it now.
Shocking cases of fraud against the government were exposed during the pandemic. Billions of dollars stolen by both individuals and foreign criminal groups making fraudulent claims for government benefits. But Shea says all too often some government agencies still are hesitant to admit they are victims of fraud.
Our response is, well, if you aren't looking for it, you're not going to find it.
Her team produced this stunning report last year, estimating the federal government loses between $233 to $521 billion to fraud every year. That $521 billion number really it's eye-popping.
It is.
What does that say about our efforts to fight fraud against the government?
It says that we need to do a better job at prevention.
This is from the dark web, and these are individuals that are stealing from the state of California.
LexisNexis Risk Solutions government CEO Haywood Talcove has also analyzed fraud for decades and says the onslaught of artificial intelligence tools is making it even easier now for criminals to circumvent government benefit systems.
So help you God.
I do.
At the first House subcommittee hearing on DOGE, Talcove was first to testify.
The use of AI is fundamentally changing society, but in the hands of criminals, it has become a weapon.
He warned the public sector is lagging far behind in fighting fraud, with the private sector averaging a 3 to 5% fraud rate compared to government, which he estimates at 20%.
The fact of the matter is the 50 states don't talk to each other. The federal government doesn't talk amongst its agencies. And what that does is it enables the criminals.
COVID exposed weaknesses in government systems, like failing to verify identities up front, allowing self-certification for applicants, and failing to cross-check between states and agencies to reduce duplicate and ineligible applications. Is cross-checking between states for benefits still an issue?
It is still an issue.
Some states still not doing it. Is that frustrating?
It is frustrating.
Shea says there has been progress with more fraud prevention tools being used now, like the Treasury's Do Not Pay list. It allows checks across multiple agencies to determine things like if a person is deceased, in federal prison, or delinquent on taxes. But Spotlight checked the Do Not Pay website and found only about half of states are using it. What do you think when you see so many that aren't making progress?
Disappointment.
In February, the GAO put out its high-risk fraud list. It identifies areas with serious vulnerabilities for fraud, waste, and abuse and is updated every 2 years. Of the 38 on the list right now, the GAO says only about a quarter have made progress since 2023. For Spotlight on America, I'm Angie Moreschi.